Self-defense is the legal right to use reasonable force to protect oneself or others from immediate damage during an attack. When charged with a violent crime, a defendant may utilize self-defense as a legal defense under federal criminal law and throughout all states. It is usually invoked in cases of assault, battery, or homicide. Still, Arizona self-defense laws have unique rules and exceptions that are important for residents to know. Self-defense laws in Arizona are outlined through several Arizona revised statutes. These statutes express that when employing physical force to stop some crimes, such as assault or robbery, there is no obligation to flee first. This rule is commonly referred to as the Arizona Stand Your Ground law. While Arizona law does allow individuals to protect themselves with physical force, people need to be aware of the legal limits on self-defense. For example, the law states self-defense is not applicable during verbal disputes or lawful police-led arrests. Knowing about the intricacies of Arizona's self-defense laws can help you make informed decisions. The Castle Doctrine and Stand Your Ground law are similar self-defense-related legal principles, but they have diverse applications. Understanding these two laws' differences can help you know when you can legally defend yourself with lethal force. Arizona Castle Doctrine. The Castle Doctrine legal principle pertains exclusively to self-defense scenarios that occur within an individual's residence. ARS 13-411 allows people to protect themselves against intruders or attackers who break into or seek to enter their houses with force, permitting them to use deadly force. Under this statute, there is no requirement to flee if the claimant believes they are in immediate danger. Some examples of real-world applications that the Castle Doctrine might cover are someone attacking an intruder molesting their child, a dog biting an intruder executing aggravated assault, an individual threatening to shoot an intruder committing first-degree burglary. Arizona Stand Your Ground law. Although there is not an Arizona law explicitly titled Stand Your Ground, ARS 13-405 permits anyone, wherever they may be, to protect themselves or others, even with lethal force, without having to flee first. This holds true as long as the claimant is legally allowed at a location, even if it is outside of their property or in public areas throughout Arizona. Some examples of real-life scenarios that may allow someone to stand their ground are a victim pepper spraying a sexual assaulter, an individual threatening to shoot a kidnapper, a bystander killing an individual attempting second-degree murder. Potential limitations. While Castle Doctrines and Stand Your Ground laws provide legal protections, there are limits and conditions. Some examples of potential limitations for both these legal principles in the state of Arizona are: force must be used sensibly and in proportion to the threat that is perceived. The claimant couldn't have initiated the altercation or willfully intensified it. Lethal force cannot be used arbitrarily or without reason. The claimant must genuinely believe they or others are in imminent danger to make a self-defense claim. If you have inflicted harm to protect yourself or others, contact a trusted criminal defense attorney to discuss your case and figure out which laws may apply. Can you shoot a home intruder in Arizona? If a home intruder is posing immediate physical danger to you or the other inhabitants in your home, Arizona law gives you the legal right to threaten or use deadly force. Some potential indicators that suggest the intruder is directly posing physical danger include: the intruder is armed, especially with a deadly weapon like a gun. The intruder physically hurt or murdered someone else on your property. The intruder has threatened to hurt or murder you or other inhabitants while already inside your home. Each home intruder situation is unique, but to claim self-defense in an Arizona court, you have to prove that your defensive actions were taken because the intruder was about to inflict harm at that moment. For example, if the intruder was unarmed and focused on stealing property, such as a TV or jewelry, you may not be legally justified to use deadly force because they were not posing imminent danger to anyone. There are many important details to remember in case you must defend yourself with physical force. Some examples of key considerations for self-defense situations are deadly force. Legally, you are not permitted to use deadly force unless you fear immediate serious physical injury or death. If you can get out of the situation safely, you should. Lethal force should only be used as the last resort. Defending others, just like when you protect yourself, you can protect someone else if you reasonably fear that the other person is in imminent danger. Duty to retreat. As spelled out in Arizona law, Arizona does not require people to retreat before enacting physical or deadly force to protect themselves or prevent certain crimes in the face of imminent danger. Know when to stop. Although you may be allowed to use reasonable force to fight back if someone starts physically hitting you, if the offender stops fighting, you cannot continue hitting them. This would be considered an unreasonable use of force. Legal repercussions. If your self-defense is not justified by law, you could face criminal charges, even if you didn't start the fight. Additionally, the other person may file a civil lawsuit that may force you to pay them restitution. Juries decide. In Arizona courts, juries determine whether or not the defender's use of physical force was justified. Advocacy from an experienced attorney can help juries understand why some actions were warranted. Hopefully, you and your loved ones are never put in a situation where you have to use physical force in the name of defense. But if you do, contact a reliable criminal defense lawyer who can help you work through each step of your case, making it easier to achieve the best possible outcome. If you've inflicted physical force in self-defense and have or may be wrongfully convicted of a crime because of it, contact the Jackson White Criminal Law Team. Our talented attorneys have substantial experience with Arizona self-defense laws. By referring to the Arizona Stand Your Ground law, Castle Doctrine, and various statutes, we can help you build a strong case that your actions were taken in self-defense in an attempt to avoid the negative legal repercussions that can come from being found guilty of a violent crime like murder or assault. The Jackson White Law Team proudly defends individuals' right to use force to protect themselves. If you felt the need to use physical or deadly physical force to protect yourself or your family in Arizona, it is highly suggested that you retain the guidance of an experienced Jackson White criminal defense attorney immediately. Call the Jackson White Criminal Law Team at 480-745-1639 to discuss how self-defense laws in Arizona apply to your case.